Unit B, this is the police with a warrant.
A community's reeling after a federal immigration raid tears apart a local family.
I'm barely able to pay my rent, and we just want to have better work conditions.
Thousands of San Diego grocery workers threaten to go on strike if a deal is not met by today.
Plus, the County Water Authority approves a new rate hike.
It's been a long and winding road, and now I'm at the end of my trail.
A new roof and plumbing. How the East County posse rode to the rescue of Tom Weller, the highwayman.
It's 6 a.m. on Friday, June 27th, and you're up with CBS 8. All right, thank you so much for joining us here at 6 a.m. I'm Chris Grau.
And I'm Neda Irampour. A lot to get to here, but we also want to make sure you're ready for the weekend. Meteorologist Evan Roddy joining us. It's like that extra, feeling of excitement.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Right? It's like that thrill that you get. Even when I go to bed on a Thursday night, I'm like, you just have to make it through one more day. And then we get the weekend. Good morning to you. We appreciate you joining us as you start off your Friday. Beautiful weekend we have in store across the county. Temperatures warming their way up to the 70s out by the coast today. 85 on average across our inland valleys and 86 for the mountains. The pesky marine layer, that June gloom that has been joining us, is not going to be quite as active for the weekend. And in fact, our temperatures should be warming up even more. We'll have details on just how warm we'll get in just a few.
Guns drawn, smashed windows, and a family taken from their home by ICE agents. Last Wednesday, agents with Homeland Security Investigations carried out a search and arrest warrant on an apartment in Oceanside.
In the end, a mother and father were taken into custody while their minor children were detained and then released. CBS 8's Richard Allen talked to a neighbor who documented this disturbing ordeal.
Oh my God!
This is cell phone video documenting agents with Homeland Security Investigations, an investigative arm of ICE, carrying out an arrest warrant last Wednesday morning on an apartment where a mother, father, and their 2 teenage children live in this ordinarily quiet complex in Oceanside.
Unit B, this is the police with a warrant. Come to the door.
They're family to us, and this isn't okay.
Marlo Cleveland, who lives right upstairs from the family, quickly came outside.
And saw them downstairs and went back in, got my phone, and just started recording. And just kept recording.
Capturing the immigration operation as it unfolded.
They set off flashbangs in the house. They broke windows. They sent drones in. One guy had a hand grenade on his vest. What was he going to do with that?
At one point, Cleveland says the agents threatened to use tear gas.
I'm just letting you know that we may use gas, and you may get a secondary exposure to that gas. So I just want you to be aware that that's going to happen. Okay?
At one point, all 4 members of the family were handcuffed. The 2 teens, a 14-year-old girl and 17-year-old boy, were later released into the custody of their older sister, but the parents remain in federal custody. It's still unclear what brought agents to their home. Meantime, within days of the ordeal, a local artist created this mural of the couple, who are both awaiting court proceedings.
And this is horrible. I've never seen anything like it. It was insane.
Marlo Cleveland says it was critical for her to capture what happened on video.
If you can document it, document it. Let people know what's happening. Let them see what's going on, because it's not okay.
And we have reached out to the Department of Homeland Security and to ICE for comment, but have yet to hear back.
And also new this morning, how much you pay for water will increase starting next year. The San Diego County Water Authority just approved a wholesale water rate increase. Starting in January, rates will increase to 8.3%. If there's any good news here, that is less than half of what was proposed earlier this year, which was 18%. The board says that the adopted rate was lowered by a number of reasons, including the new settlement reached earlier this month with the Metropolitan Water District. They said it still needs to be increased due to higher costs in water supplies. The rate you pay will depend on how local agencies handle the new costs where you live.
Right now, thousands of grocery workers are waiting to see if their union and employers can come to an agreement, or they could go on strike.
Yeah, today's the final day of negotiations, and CBS 8's Regina Yurita is live in Claremont with the latest efforts to avoid a work stoppage. Regina?
Good morning, Chris and Netta. That's right. The union and company will be having another round of negotiations today, but they are asking the company to reach an agreement by the end of the day. So again, these final rounds of negotiations actually started on Wednesday, continue throughout the week, and Friday will continue, but they are asking the company to reach an agreement, or they're threatening to go on strike. This week, grocery workers at stores across San Diego threatened to go on strike, passing out pamphlets to customers at 3 locations. United Food and Commercial Workers Local 135 stood outside Ralph's in Hillcrest, Vaughn's and Encinitas, and Albertsons in Lake Murray, letting customers know about a potential strike. Union leaders say they've been in negotiations with the companies for months over unfair wages and poor working conditions. CBS 8 reached out to both Albertsons and Kroger. The two companies telling us in a statement that they remain actively engaged in bargaining with the union. Albertsons argued that allegations of unfair labor practices are without merit. Their focus remains on providing exceptional service, while Kroger says their current offer reflects their commitment, including market-leading wage increases for associates over the life of the agreement and continued investment in industry-leading health care and a pension. But here's what grocery workers told us on Wednesday.
These companies have committed unfair labor practices. They have violated the law, and so we have decided to potentially go on strike. We took a strike vote a couple weeks ago, and over 90% of the members that voted to approve the strike, and so here we are now. Do we want to go on strike? Nobody really wants to go on strike. You know, we're in the contract business. We're not in the strike business. Potentially, you know, maybe next week, maybe the week after, we could be on strike. But ultimately, we want a deal.
And it is important noting that the last Southern California grocery strike actually happened in 2003. It lasted for more than 4 months. But in terms of when we will hear a decision, whether an agreement was made, that will be until later today. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, Regina, thank you very much for staying on top of that. The July 4th travel rush actually begins tomorrow. AAA is predicting more than 72 million people will travel at least 50 miles or more for Independence Day. That's up by nearly 2 million travelers from last year, so you may notice a big difference. A record number of people will take to the skies this year with an expected 5.8 million flyers. But most are traveling by car. AAA projecting about 62 million people hitting the roads. The best time to travel would be tomorrow before 10 in the morning, with peak congestion expected between noon and 5. There are some increases in gas prices, but are still at their lowest since 2021. The gas price today in our county stands at $4.65. That is down 19 cents from 1 year ago. And if you're going to the beach this weekend, you might want to be careful of which one you go to. So let's show you what's going on here. Right now, there are 11 beach advisories along our coast. So you see some of the areas in the yellow there, along with the next to those green dots, the yellow one, something to know about. It's in addition to the beach closures in Imperial Beach, which we often see. An advisory means recent water testing had an excessive level of bacteria, and that you should avoid going in the water. Some of the beaches under an advisory include parts of Cardiff State Beach, the La Jolla Cove, Dog Beach, and parts of Mission Bay. And then you see the red right there, the sewage flows in IB.
All right, 6:08 here on this Friday. And Evan, I got to say, the song that's been playing in my head as I've been hearing your forecast here is The Heat Is On from Top Gun.
Okay.
Heat is on. Yeah.
Should we start our band?
Yeah.
Netta was so ready for that.
Yeah.
She just got it in dual exactly.
Yeah.
For dual speakers. Stereo.
Surround sound.
Exactly. 2.1.
People pay extra for that, you know?
Yeah,
so,
honestly.
I mean, yeah.
That's what it should be. That's going to be the exclusive content on CBS 8 Plus pretty soon. Honestly, it is. It is going to be a warm weekend. We are going to see temperatures continue their warm up over the course of the next couple days. Saturday and Sunday, especially over our local mountains and deserts where the clouds do not prevail. That's where those temperatures have been allowed to warm up in particular. But even along the coast and inland, that marine layer has pulled back with a lot more speed than it started the week with. When we look outside right now, this is Big Black Mountain facing west. You can see how areas of Ramona are still socked in with a little bit of cloud cover, but not as active of a layer of clouds. Sunset not coming until 8:01. How about that? Take a look at your weekend beach forecast, taking us to 73 degrees by Saturday afternoon, 74 across most of our coastline by the time we get to Sunday, and partly cloudy skies, meaning if you set up shop out by the beach, you're getting your tent ready, you're getting getting the chairs ready. Maybe you're grabbing one of the fire pits. What you have to factor in is that the clouds are going to be with us through about 8, 9, maybe even 10 a.m. in some cases, and then tend to break apart and give us a lot more sunshine by that afternoon stretch. Thank you to Barry for sending this photo in. These maybe your friends out there by the beach while you're waiting for your party to show up, kind of staking your claim on that precious beach area. Take a look, Children's Pool in La Jolla. You can see how behind these beautiful seagulls, we've got blue skies and just a few passing clouds. Those are the conditions we're expecting over the course of the weekend. Out the door right now, we are mostly in the upper 50s and low 60s. It's incredibly mild out there. Overcast skies. Temperatures are not too cool, but by the time we see those clouds pull their way back, those temperatures will essentially skyrocket, especially across our inland valleys. By the time we get to about 11 a.m., Santee will probably have gained 20 degrees or so. So that is something to watch for, those warmer and warmer temperatures the farther east you go over the course of the weekend. Let's check in on how things are looking on your roads. Things are very quiet right now. It's a Friday morning commute. One spot I can't take you to is this big yellow blob. That is fog as we start off the morning. So expect it to be one of those mornings where you may need to reduce your speeds a bit. Take a look live right now at the southbound 15. This is at El Cajon Boulevard. People getting started with their Friday morning commute. Not a lot of trouble out there. Let's check in on your border wait times as well, where right now it is an 80-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. You're going to get away with passing over the Otay Mesa Port of Entry very fast this morning, 30 minutes compared to the usual 60, 70, 80, depending on which day. But this is one of the fastest commutes over the Otay Mesa border compared to what we've seen pretty much all this week.